Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I guess it works. Oh. Well, if everyone could find a seat, it looks like the witching hour is here to get started on our meeting. And welcome to the November issue already of Kansas City Woodturners. My name is Mike Thomas. I'm the president, and I'm going to be your master of ceremonies tonight. So without any further ado, we will get started. We have an action-packed meeting for you, and you can see from all the stuff up here, we're going to make a real mess, okay? But hopefully there'll be some good instruction along with that. Anyway, let's see. I know we have at least one visitor, Dr. Shedd, and have we got any other visitors tonight? Yes, sir, and your name is? Good. Morris, how did you find us? I found us Effie? Through Effie. Great. Great. Where are you from?
Who knows?
Okay.
Mostly New York.
Oh, so you come quite a ways then.
Yeah. I left this morning. No, just kidding. I've lived in Kansas City for about 11 years.
Okay. Originally from New York, though. But that's great.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming. And let's see. Dr. Shedd is here. I haven't seen Dr. Shedd since I last called on him in KCK, but has found his way in here tonight. And
my first name is Dan.
You were always Dr. Shedd. Yeah. So he's going to find out a little bit about wood turning, and don't scare him off, you guys. But buy me something. He's been a workaholic for years, and so an outlet, something like this, I think would be real valuable for you. So. Any other visitors? Any new members? Olivia. Yes.
Yeah, I'm Olivia. I'm a member of the Woodworking Guild, and I wanted to try to learn turning.
Okay. Well, you know what you've got to understand here. We've had a number of other people that have been members of the guild that have come over to the round side. You got to make sure that you finish all of your flat work and everything before you start turning, because once you start turning, you'll never go back to the flat stuff. So, okay. Great. Well, let's go. Let's see. No new members. I'll give you a quick rundown of the agenda for tonight. What we're going to do is some brief announcements, and then there's going to be a demo. And it started off, well, I'll get into that. Started off as a bandsaw demo, but then it's evolved into from log to lathe. Anyway, then we have our annual election for our officers and board of directors for next year, starting 1st of January 2018. And then we'll take a break and encourage everyone to take a look at the silent auction items back there, and we'll have refreshments. And thanks, Dan and Linda, for providing the refreshments again. As well as after the break, we'll do the challenge and the show and tell, and wrap up here hopefully by 9 o'clock. So, okay. Without any further ado, let me get my list of announcements. Okay. Number one thing is take a look at our website, kcwoodturners.org, and that is the go-to source for all of the information, the latest and greatest. Kevin and everyone does a real good job of keeping that updated. So that's where the good information is. But tonight we have a call for basic turning tool donations. Everybody's probably got extra bowl gouge or a spindle gouge or a parting tool or something way back in the drawer, in their shop at home that they're not using. What we're trying to do is to get some basic tools together for our beginner classes. There's a number of people, like members of the guild, who have taken Anthony's beginner wood turning class that aren't sure if they really want to invest, $60, $75, whatever, in, a spindle gouge and a bowl gouge and a round nose scraper and a parting tool and a skew, and it can add up to some money pretty quickly if they're not convinced that this is really what they want to do. So having those available, if you've got extras, just bring them by and drop them off. See Kevin, and we'll be glad to keep those locked up and everything in kind of our inventory for the beginning Turner classes. So that, as well as our December meeting, we have 2 social events a year. You know, our summer picnic, and then we have our holiday party, which is going to be December 11th. This is always a real special social event, and we'll have turning competition, so that's going to be a lot of fun. It's always a big hit. Don't miss that. Check the website for more information, and plan on bringing like a side dish and beverages. Let's see, the club is going to provide...
We'll provide beverages, we'll provide sandwiches and fixings for sandwiches. So really, and we're going to provide some wine for the adults.
Yeah.
So when you come, bring a side dish, you can share like chips or dessert, something like that.
Great. It's always a good time, so don't miss that our next meeting. It's the second Monday of December. That's the 11th. And let's see. What have I forgot? Anything urgent that...
The turning race. Bring tools.
Oh, that's right. Yep. There will be, we'll have 3 teams. Depending on how many people want to participate, we'll divide up into teams, and we'll have 3 lathes out here. And anyway, last year we turned, Christmas trees? That, is that... It was fun, whatever it was, you know. Yeah, we got railroaded. You know, somebody had their wife that was some head cheerleader that was, you know, it was kind of by a voice vote and everything, and she was back there and got everybody for our turning was clearly superior, okay, but we lost. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Anyway, moving on to the demonstration. Our demonstrator tonight is me, and I have a young assistant who will be helping me a little later. But let me give you a little genesis of how this whole project started. The board we were talking about, we have, you know, of course, the bandsaw that was in the back. I don't know how many people understand the life of this bandsaw and what's happened to it. Okay. Had this for years. Loaned it to the AAW for the symposium at the end of June, and had it on a pallet all ready to go down at, trucked it down to the convention center. When we got there, union labor has to drive the fork truck and everything in the convention center, and so they were unloading this on the pallet, and it did a nosedive and smashed into a million pieces, and it was totaled. So the fork driver said, no problem, our insurance will take care of it. You know, you just file an insurance claim and so forth. Anyway, our Never Say Die toolmeister, Mr. Neely, and had helpers, and found all the pieces and everything and brought this back to life. And in fact, it is better than new, with new guides and everything on it. I mean, this thing is awesome. Anyway, not knowing that at the time, we were all of a sudden in the market for a new bandsaw, and come to find out there was a trade show in town. You know? So we visited the Powermatic and Jet guys at the symposium and got a heck of a deal on a new bandsaw, which is back there. Reason it's not here is because we don't have wheels for it. So anyway, we thought that, you know, this was going to be totaled, but Kevin brought it back to life, and so we now have 2 bandsaws, and the board's going to make a decision on, you know, probably sell one of them here or something here before too long. But anyway, there were people who we found were using the bandsaw that didn't really know how to use a bandsaw. And I don't know if it wasn't set up right, or people were trying. We have seen people during open shop sessions that are trying to cut too big a piece on the bandsaw, and something that maybe should be cut down on with a chainsaw. So anyway, it started off as, like I say, just bandsaw. We wanted to keep, number one, people safe, and number two, you know, so that wouldn't tear up our equipment and everything, so that we would have to, you know, not have a bandsaw, why we were getting another blade for it, and so on. So anyway, it, like I say, has evolved from bandsaw instruction from log to lathe. And what we're going to do, we also have a nice steel electric chainsaw that used to make this, our goal is really to prepare raw wood for mounting and turning on the lathe, okay? Just be able to cut it into usable pieces and using the right tool to do that. And so that's what we're going to try to accomplish tonight. First of all, let's say that you have found a piece of wood, something like this hackberry or a piece of walnut that's actually been back in the shop for some time that has been sitting there, and you want to make something out of it. You're not sure what you want to do with it, but you don't know how to get into a usable form. This is a piece of hackberry that was actually brought in by a member of the guild, and he hasn't got time to get to it, and it's drying out, so we thought, well, we could make some bowls out of this, or bowl blanks out of this that we could put on the lathe. Obviously, you can't do it with this. So, and it's drying on this end. This end has been, it's all moldy and everything. This was sitting on the floor, so it's not cracked or checked like this end is. What we'll do initially is to dock this back, and you get to good wood, and then see what we've got with it. Now, this is not intended to be a full instruction on safety use of the chainsaw tonight at all. That's a whole nother demo topic on its own. So what I'll do is show you, like I say, what I'll do with this, and let me get. And I haven't got all of the appropriate. And I looked today on the. I Googled, bandsaw or chainsaw safety, and there's a million YouTubes and videos, as well as all kinds of instruction. And a lot of it is for if you're going to go out and fell trees and buck trees and everything, and you're out in the woods. That's a different story than as opposed to something like this here. We've got this piece that. Oops. We obviously want to keep. This is solid. And it's not going to roll, so we're safe with all that. But I'll show you what I want to do with this initially here. And we haven't got a camera, do we, so that you can see where this is cracked and checked here. I would turn this so you guys could see it, but well, I could do that because all the shavings, everything is going to go this way. Okay. Great. Now, like I say, I wanted to have the shavings and everything, all the desks go this way. So, this is our chainsaw. It's got a 14-inch blade. And what I'd do initially is to take a look at this, make sure the brake works. It is full of oil. I actually filled it with oil here just a little bit ago. It's set so the right tension, the teeth are sharp, and I'm ready to go. Hold your ears. It's interesting, for those of you who use a chainsaw, this is not a variable speed. This is either on or off, and that's the way a lot of the electric chainsaws are. So it's fairly easy to operate. Anyway, I'll dock this back and see what we got here. That did a nice job. Look at that. See those spalting lines, that ink line? That is gorgeous. Whoa. Seriously, that is one of the most striking examples I've seen in a long time. Yes. Okay. Suppose we want to make a bowl out of that. How many bowls could we make out of this?
Hand grade or side grade?
Side grade. What do you think?
Do both.
Okay. Okay. Show us how to do that. This is my young assistant here. He's not done this very long, but he takes instruction well, so. Here.
Get your fingers out of there. Get out of there.
Dude. Okay. How do you want to cut it then? Okay. The professor says, right, hold it. Let's make sure, like this. Mark it how you want to cut. Okay. Wow. That's going to be incredible. This is what we're looking at. So, what I'm going to do is, now there's several ways of doing this. You can do it like this or like this. I say for sure you want to cut side grain, not end grain. Okay. All right. That's going to be gorgeous. Hold your ears. want that to move. That'll work right there. And we're through. Notice long shavings here, cutting side grain. You peel side grain and you slice end grain. And if it did end grain, it would just be dust and it would take about twice as long. But that is striking. I think that is gorgeous. Now, my young assistant here, you want me to knock the corners off? Goal with the bandsaw is to, what we could do is cut the corners off of it and make it a lot easier. And then the big thing is, you'll see how Anthony cuts this, where it's not cutting into end grain, uphill into end grain, you know, the cha-chunk that you get if you're cutting it this way, but cutting side grain this way, it's nice and smooth and goes through those corners like butter. Okay, while he does that, I will show you actually how we do this. Now, using the bandsaw, on our website, there is and I've got copies of the sheet. The Guild. If you notice around the room, there are laminated books that are chained to the wall, and there's holders on the wall, 3 or 4 of them around here, that the Guild does an incredible job with respect to safety. And they had just updated this. I found this originally in the Googled it. Every shop teacher has got a safety sheet for different pieces of equipment. And the bandsaw one, this is the best one I saw, was done by the Guild. Come to find out Saturday afternoon, this was updated in August. The one I had was dated July of 2010. This is awesome. So anyway, there are 14 points here on things that you really should take a look at. Again, the genesis for this whole demo was bandsaw and setting it up properly and using it because it requires to be, it has to be set up and tuned to work right. There's some feedback. Anyway, so we're going to follow this, but this is all on our website, and I've got, I don't know, half a dozen copies or so up here if you want to take a look at it. But notice how Anthony is cutting toward the headstock, and really that just goes right along without a problem, as opposed to trying to cut, the other direction into end grain. Great. Okay. Oh yeah. If I work on the bandsaw, Effie's going to be in the way. But we need to see how he's doing this here. Oh, it's great because we got the overhead camera too. Yeah. Okay. So, first thing I would do, walking up to it, first of all, how many people have a bandsaw at home in their shop? Okay. So I'm going to go through this pretty quick. Most everybody knows this then. But first of all, make sure that the guy's up. Take a look, and there is no tension release on this band, on the blade. It's just set one. Tap it with a finger, and you can see it should deflect about 1/8 of an inch. So it's tight. lower that down to about, I'm taking a look at the guides, and this is set up where it's not touching on the thrust bearing, but the side guides are good, top and bottom. Okay. One of the things too is, and probably 98% of the time, this is going to be, a 90 degree or right angle cut. If you tilt the table, you want to make sure you get it back to 90 degrees. Everyone knows the quick and easy way to see if it's set at 90 degrees. Push that in, start to make a cut. As soon as it stops. This will get it within, and it's not level. This will get it within less than 1 degree, and it is not square. The idea is you make this cut, turn it around, the back of the blade should fit right in that curve, but it doesn't. So, I'm going to try this again. That should do it. And that's perfect. Again, we don't have the camera on, but it goes right in there. Anyway, in preparing this, I would I had a compass here. Oh, here it is. Take a look and see where maximum, how I want to lay this bowl out. Okay. Isn't that incredible? Okay. Having a nice flat surface, you can use this safely on the bandsaw freehand. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to cut too far. I'm going to have to raise this up a little. What's that?
Why did you draw the circle?
Drew on this side. I need to,
Want me to bring it?
if I got,
Do you want me to bring the circle?
I'm just going to hunk it off with the, this way, as opposed to putting the circles on it. This way, I can see about how far I've got on all these, so I won't cut into that. But the point is, you don't need a perfect disc. I know some people try to, use a circle jig and put it on and so they get a perfect. You don't need to do that, especially cutting it this way. You don't get beat up doing that, and it provides a little more flexibility in terms of moving that around. And it seems like instead of the cha-chunk, 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 it's cha-chunk, cha-chunk, cha-chunk. It's a lot better just not knocking the corners off. That's what I do. So, knock these off. off of that. You know, you don't ever reach behind to push the pieces off. I don't have my push stick. I need a push stick. That's okay. Oh, that's if I'm doing, yeah, something flat. I was looking for something longer, but I could actually cut a little more off of that. You know, there's a lot of people who've said, I've read the two current bandsaw gurus seem to be Mark Dudzinski and Alex Snodgrass. And there's a lot of people that have said if they could only have one saw, power saw, it would be a bandsaw, because of everything you can do with it, as opposed to table saw or miter saw or anything else. So just cutting this much off makes it a heck of a lot easier to get around and, like I say, get it round. See how Anthony's pushing again towards the headstock, getting that nice and clean. I think he's done this before. Anyway, what I also wanted to show you is, first of all, how you cut something round on the bandsaw. Let me cut this other corner off a little bit right here while we watch Anthony do that. Need to raise this guide up a little bit.
I have a question for you, Anthony. How do you determine the wetness or dryness, however you want to look at it, of a piece of wood?
If it's wet, it stains your shirt. You mean before you cut it? You can touch a cut surface, and feel the evaporation. It makes
If it's cold, yeah.
This is quite dry.
That's an incredible piece of wood. Look at that. What? No, that's not box elder. But these ink lines are awesome.
We can turn the lathe.
Yeah, turn it out.
Again, this is a piece that has been back on the wood rack for some time. It was standing in the corner. This is all checked and split here. I'm going to dock it back to see, to get to solid wood and see what we can find. Hold your ears. Testing, 1, 2, test. Okay. I'm going to cut a couple pieces here to show how to rip as well as cross cut on the bandsaw. So. Just wait on that. Great, thanks. Okay. I thought he was just going to do the outside. Awesome. Yeah, and then you can do the other one too. Okay. Seems like we always run into problems when someone tries to cut a round log, something like this, on the bandsaw, whether they're trying to cross cut it or rip it. So, what we do, we're going to cross cut first. This is an incredible deal. Carter came up with this. It came on the market, I don't know, in July. It's, this is not their log mill. What do they call this? But you see, this is adjustable here. You loosen these two thumb screws, and it slides for various diameter logs in here. And with the sheet metal, the teeth provides a nice grip to hold it square so it doesn't roll. That's what we're after. It's nice. Overall, bandsaw is really safe to use because all the pressure and everything, there's no kickback. It goes straight down. So, Right. Rip this in half. It's not half, but pretty effortless. There's a little bit of a bow here, and we're getting into, obviously, once in a while you'll have to back out of a cut. Don't do that while the blade is running.
Anthony, what were you doing when you were... What were you listening for? What were you trying to determine?
Higher pitches or thinner? I forgot my calipers.
Why did you have to back out of that cut?
It was at an angle. I tried to line it up square, but this, you can see this diameter is larger than this, and the way it sat in the jig, see the cut's going this way. So it was starting to get into the side of this here, and I thought, no, that's not safe. So yeah. This with the V-block here, again, the same V-block system with this holds it in place, as well as what we've got here for the chainsaw. But yeah, makes it a lot easier to cut with the chainsaw, and faster too. And you get almost as clean a cut. So that, we're going to move on to ripping, which is interesting too, the way that works. And we have a jig for it. Where's our... Oh. I'm going to say, I'm going to move this out of the way. Have you guys... We have this cart back in the northeast corner of the shop. Okay, this is where this chainsaw sits on it. We've got, what, several gallons of anchor seal here. So if you guys have green wood that you bring in, there's usually a paintbrush on here. You can seal the ends with anchor seal. We've also got bar oil. So make sure. Here's our other chainsaw, electric chainsaw, and works fine. So this is available for use during open shop. And I'm going to use this to shoot a couple of screws in the log to put it in the jig so it doesn't roll. I'll show you how that's done. This is quite a contraption here, this jig. Which is adjustable based on the size of the log. Let's cut, no. Let's rip this one. Now, to do this, obviously we don't want it to roll. And with this runner in the groove, it holds it. So I'm going to put shoot a couple screws in it to hold the log, keep it from rolling, and then run it through. If you use real long ones, but we're going to go, just so that we get into solid wood. These are a little longer than we really need. There's some shorter ones here. I need to get into solid wood. I don't want to put it into bark. So, see if we got, here we go. This is about 1.5 inch screw. Yeah. 3/4 inch plywood here, and that's going to get us into, because that goes in, we're set in there, we'll be good. Okay. A couple screws will do it. Need a little longer one for this size.
Mike, why don't you use like a 4-inch screw or something?
Because it'll screw up the wood that you put the screw through. Yeah. I don't want to use, I mean, into the sapwood here is going to be fine. And again, this is a little dinky log to split. Wow, that's way too long. Well, I'm going to go a little longer. That's going to keep it from rolling and be in good shape. So we can say, let's cut this in half. Just right there. I'll go right through the pith where we want to go. Okay, so that's tight. Our log is tight. I'm going to adjust the guides down to about 1/4 of an inch above. We should be in good shape. All right. Again, you know, you don't push something in a bandsaw like this with your thumbs, because then you wind up, you know, like if you want to order 10 beers, you know, at a bar for a round of drinks and everything, you do it like this. Not good. I'm just letting the saw do the work here. I don't want to force it in there. The miter gauge must not be square to the blade because I'm starting to pull this to the left. That's not right. That is not correct. That happens too a lot of times. You guys know, bandsaw blades typically don't get dull. They lose their set. And that causes a lot of problems. This is set to about 1/2 inch according to this guide here on the back, which I know isn't very accurate. But I'm going to set the tension up a little bit just to see if that takes care of it. I don't think it will. Pulling to the left. Yeah. It's not going to work since it's going into the same curve. What we'll do is see if we can move it. And that corrected the problem. Boy, I'm glad I rehearsed this demo. You know what? Oh, we're getting into time. Okay. It was set up to go right through the middle there. Try one other time here real quick. If it doesn't work, we'll move on. This never happens to anybody in their shop, does it? Okay. Okay. Yep, take two. Here we go. We got the same problem. It's pulling to the left again. So, in problem solving this, what I think is it's not going square, it's going to an angle, and I don't know, obviously it's not the miter slot in the table, it must be the jig itself. Well, this didn't. We're going to try to sell this, bud. That's maybe what we're going to have to do after tonight. Anyway, great. So I guess I failed on both cuts, didn't I? Yikes. It's somehow there's going at an angle and it's pulling it in so it goes to the left. I can see it running on this.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but how does that function? Because the jig doesn't go crooked, does it? Well, it's adjustable. So you got a thing in there pushing that groove.
Yeah, and this I'm hoping it may be that this, even if this is not square, it should still run through there. Yeah. Well, I'll take this off of here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to have to do a lot more demos. Okay. Any questions? Any more questions? All right. Anyway. This actually may help out with the election, which is next.
Mike, I have a
Yes.
question. What, I guess you refer to TPI.
Teeth per inch?
Bandsaw. What's the best all-around TPI for a bandsaw?
That's what we've got on this. We've got a 3/8 inch blade with 3 teeth per inch, which is good for kind of all round, general purpose. Okay? You know, you can get to a 1/8 inch thick blade, or that you can cut real tight radius on. And then with, obviously, the more teeth per inch, the smoother the cut's going to be. But have you seen Greenwood blades? Timberwolf makes some, and they're a little bit thicker, but that's, you know, so you can get through wet wood easier, and they hold up longer. Yeah.
Does anybody have experience with, I've always used the Timberwolf, and now I notice where Cerret as a blade, is it as good as a Timberwolf?
You know, again, it depends on what works on your saw. I have a Rikon 14-inch bandsaw at home, and I went through 4 Timberwolf blades, the same blade from Woodcraft. They all 4 broke at the weld. I think there was a problem with the welds and those blades. They were all done, you know, probably made the same lot and everything, but 4 of them. And since then, I've not used a Timberwolf blade. But when it was cutting, it cut great. But like I say, I just barely got into it.
Well, I had a similar, and it would go thump, thump, thump on every one, so I called them, and they just sent me a new blade. It said throw the old one away. Got a bad weld.
Well, I got them at Woodcraft, and Charlie sent them back and everything, and they just said, you know, that's it, not going to do this anymore. So Rick Bywater has had real good luck with blades from Saw Blades Online or something. It's, you know, a website you go to. It's like $9 or $10 for a 14-inch bandsaw blade. He said they're great. They may be. I've looked at them, and they look like, you know, pretty good quality blades. But for, you know, $9 or $10 a piece, geez, you can go through a bunch of them, you know, and right. So don't quote me on that, but Rick Bywater has the it's like sawbladesorus or something.com, and they've got I went on there. They got saw blades for everything, and their prices look real good. Anyway, any other questions? It's almost 8 o'clock here. Let's. Okay, according to our bylaws, tonight, the second Monday night of November, we are to have our annual election. And says we are, at any election there shall be elected a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and 3 or more directors at large. We have our slate. Also, it says, additional names may be placed in nomination from the floor at the annual election. So, Jack, if you could show us what the proposed candidates for next year are. If you want to wave your hand, want me to be president again. But maybe this demo will take care of that. I won't have to be president next year. Okay, Vice President, Mr. Chris Coyne, you could wave. Secretary, Mr. Sean McMahon. He is going to continue to be secretary until he gets us right, as is Kevin, our treasurer. Anyway, our board of directors, our advisors, in capacity, Sue Bergstrand. Sue, where are you? There you are. My young assistant, Anthony, back over there. Mr. Jerry James. Yes, Jerry, thank you. Ann Molina. Is Ann here tonight? Okay. And Mr. Howard Russell. Where's Howard? They knew that the election was tonight. So anyway, Are there any nominations from the floor that we want to entertain? Okay. Well, so then I move that we take a vote by show of hands for the proposed candidates for 2018. Raise your hand. All opposed? Are you sure you don't want to reconsider the president again based on this demo? Okay, well, that passes then. So congratulations. And of course, at any time, if you guys have something that you want to see changed or something new added, something different, contact anyone on the board at any time. And also, everyone's welcome to attend the board meetings we have, which is the first Monday night every month, back in the shop area, 7 o'clock. So, we, unlike the state of Kansas, we have open meetings. If you saw the paper today. Yeah. Anyway, okay. That as well as, let me remind you, take a look at the silent auction items back there on the 2 tables and bid aggressively. We've got refreshments set up in back, so help yourself, and we'll have I'll call the silent auction items here in a little bit, and then we'll move on to the challenge and show and tell. So take a break. Don, I don't know what the deal is with that, but it was just really pulling that.
I enjoyed your humor.
Thank you.
What I didn't understand was how it could go crooked when this slot was in the groove here. And
Yeah.
keep it from going crooked, it seemed to me. The band might bend a little bit, but how did it keep bending?
It was really pulling. I was watching the bearing, and
I want to ask you a question.
sure do.
Extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 10 minutes. Starts in 9 minutes. The show starts in 8 minutes. show starts in 4 minutes. The show starts in 3 minutes. And now, on with the show.